Here is my personal view on the Chelsea and Arsenal game, EPL Week 9. Now, I call it personal because some people might not agree with my views on this, but I know I'll be proven right in time to come. Now, EPL is the most difficult league. Now, it's not because a team can dominate, it's because you don't predict who can win a game and who loses. And I believe that before this game, everybody, or at least 90% of viewers out there, gave it to Arsenal. Now, there's something you need to understand in APL. You can win a very big game, such as Arsenal did against Manchester City, and still come and lose to Sheffield. It doesn't matter who you played. You're as good as your last game. It doesn't matter who you played before. If you don't bring your A game, you lose. And, underrating a team like Chelsea because there've been a lot of changes in the team was a mistake. They're star-studded. They have good young players, and they're still building. Arsenal has been on this project for 4 years. I feel ashamed when some Arsenal fans say that Chelsea fans are happy because they got a draw. You guys were lucky. You were lucky to get a draw. Now, I'm not taking away from the Arsenal team. I think they're good. They have good players. They've been able to build a structure that actually assimilates all their players. But I feel like the coach has done something different this season that is going to affect them. First of all, I don't think they're going to win the league this season. It's going to be difficult for them to finish second if they finish second. I feel Liverpool is a big threat. Tottenham is not just going to go away, and Newcastle is still there. Now, I don't know where Chelsea is going to finish yet because they're still building, but if they continue cooking the way they are right now, I think they will be in running for the top four. Now, what has the coach done this season that has affected the Arsenal team? I think he has changed the way they play. Last season, they played differently. Partey was a very big part of that team last season. He won the ball. He has a connection with Odega. That connection he has with Odega helps Odega to move back and forth to the midfield and to the attack. Now, Declan Rice is a good player, obviously, but that connection isn't there yet. He plays a different game with Partey, and it has affected the team. For the first few games, he was playing Havertz. Finally, he understands that it wouldn't work. Havertz is on the bench. He has come in the last two games and contributed to goals. I still don't know what he brings to the team yet, but the coach obviously brought him for a reason. So I don't believe this Arsenal team can win the league. They're going to lose a lot of games in time to come. It's not going to be all rosy. And yesterday game, if you watched it, I think other teams would have taken note of how to play them because Pochettino had a game plan. The game plan was, first of all, he played without a striker. And you had Palmer and Carragher running in from the midfield. Now, it rendered the defenders useless because there was nobody to mark. There was no Jackson, there was no Broya. So, and you had Modric and Sterling from the flank. Now, they choked to the midfield and they prevented Arsenal to play from the middle of the park and overran them from the middle. They know Zekovic was a player that Arsenal needed, and they made sure that he didn't have the space to move the ball or to run, and it affected them. And I think every other team is going to look at it and say, okay, these people are beatable, and there's a way to get around them. Now, I'm not going to. I didn't come here to talk about Arsenal or Chelsea or side any of them. All I'm saying is the league is very, very open. And at the end of the season, there's going to be a lot of changes at the top four. The top four you see now, I don't think some of those things will be there. There's going to be a lot of changes in that league. Top six is going to be very different because some of the things that are not did do well at the beginning of the season will end up being in the top four or the top six. Chelsea obviously is going to be a very difficult team to play in the next two years or 2 to 3 years because they have all it takes. The team is beginning to click. And even at this season, when you have Ngoku out, when he gets back into the team, a lot of injured players. Chukwemeka is out there. He hasn't played. Chiwale just he's going to be out for a few months, and you have Rezim that just came in. He played for a few minutes yesterday. I feel like with the full team and with every player in the team, it will be hard for anybody to beat them, even Manchester City. So, my point here is that at the end of the day, we need to stop looking at teams from their present performance and try and look at what they bring to the table every week. And what Chelsea is lacking now are two things. I think they need to strengthen two areas. I think they need another goalkeeper. Sanchez, for me, should not be number one. He doesn't have what it takes to be number one. They should get another keeper or give the second choice goalkeeper a chance to show what he's made of. Then they need a striker. Jackson works for the team. He runs, he has strength, but he's not clinical enough because there are certain times that you need a striker to get that goal. You create two chances and you need those two goals. And if you have a striker that is not clinical, he's going to waste those chances and you end up dropping a point or even losing the entire point. So I feel if Chelsea can get a goalkeeper or give the second keeper a chance and get a striker, I don't know what's going to happen to Silva at the end of the season. He might decide to leave, but if he goes, I think they still need an experienced defender. Koga obviously is good. You have the Sassy. I'm not really convinced about Fofana because he's been injured. He's always injured, so he's not somebody you can rely on. But at the end of the day, if he's fit, he can play. But you need an experienced defender to come in and help. The midfield is working. Kudos to Carragher, and Caicedo is going to do what he was brought in to do. Enzo is good, but I think the star player there now is Palmer. The way he plays, he's always entering in positions, creating spaces. He knows what to do with the ball. He's out there. He's asking for the ball. He's working for the team, creating all sorts of problems, creating all sorts of chances for the team to win. So I think that Chelsea is a team to look forward to. Everybody should be scared of that team. Because if they could play an Arsenal team that almost won the league like this, with 13 players out, what happens when they have maybe 6 of them back to the team? So watch out for Chelsea.